You started your career as a professional basketball player.
Yes, indeed.
Tell me a little bit about the mindset needed to succeed as like an athlete and how that can translate into the world of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think there's so many similarities to when you compare building your sports career as an athlete and building a startup. Because if you think about this, when you suddenly have an idea and you want to turn this into a business, like the likelihood and the chances that you'll succeed, you have a big exit or you build a huge company, are so little. It's like fraction of a percent probably. Now that's very similar to when you're a kid, you pick up your football, basketball, whatever else you want to do. The chance that you become a pro, and actually be able to make money from it and this to become your career are so little. It's probably I don't know the exact numbers, but it's probably very similar chances. And so I think first of all, you need to have that mindset of going totally against the odds and almost being completely blind and just focus on, okay, I have a vision, I have a dream, and trying to not think too logically sometimes, because I think if you were to think logically, you wouldn't even try doing this because logically the chances are so little. But you're so convinced and you put so much effort into that and I think so much discipline, and you're ready to basically take anything on the way. And I always thought it's a sort of mindset that, you can't beat someone who doesn't give up, and you just have to keep on going, whether it shines or rains, you just keep on going. So you have this constant sort of, day-to-day approach to you building, you growing, you want to get closer to that goal. And that goal changes on the way as well. And I think being totally fine with that. So yeah, there's so many similarities. And I always say that if it hadn't been for my athlete's career and I think all the ups and downs that I had gone through, I think it would have been hard to, go over the last couple of years, which have been so unprecedented, from Brexit, COVID, a war in Europe. I mean, that was literally around the time where we officially announced we're expanding to Central Eastern Europe as well.
Oh,
so literally, I think we did a press release in the local Forbes maybe a couple of weeks before the war broke out in Ukraine. So like we've gone through this inflation, living cost of living. We've gone through everything within a few years. So I think to be prepared for that. Growing up as a kid with a big dream and wanting to go through all the hurdles to become a professional athlete really helped.
Yeah. You said something then, you can't beat somebody that doesn't give up.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit long to get as a tattoo, but if I could get a tattoo, it would probably be something like that.
Yeah. It's something that I stole from one of my close friends, one of our investors, who is currently a professional athlete. And I think the last couple of years more than ever showed us that's the case. So yeah.
Okay. So you moved to London at age 19 and you got your first job in the coffee shop Joe and the Juice.
Yes,
okay.
Indeed.
So I find that some of the best entrepreneurs often started with really shitty jobs, basically, like retail or working in cafes or newspaper routes or whatever. Why? Well, do you agree with me? And if so, why do you think that is?
Yeah, because I think starting a business isn't as glamorous as people think, right? So I think if you come, or you have that experience of really hustling through your life and trying to build something out of nowhere and having, these times throughout your life where things aren't glamorous, I think they just prepare you for this. Because I feel like in the last, 10 years or whatever that's been, a lot of people build this beautiful image of being an entrepreneur, which is obviously, being on the front page of the Forbes magazine, of TechCrunch, and raising these big amounts of money, and it all feels so glamorous, but it actually isn't. And I think maybe that's the case. And when it comes to hospitality itself, I always felt like every person should almost have 1 year working in a bar or coffee shop. I think this would make our society much better than it is.
Yeah. Well, you learn what good customer service is, right? And in many respects, it's one of the most important things as a founder, because when you begin, especially in the early days, there is no sales team, there is no support team.
Correct.
You're doing everything. So if you can't initially bringing those initial clients and then use that capital to scale, there is no scaling, there is no business.
I think that, and also having that empathy for a single customer, because at the end of the day, a successful coffee shop is a collective of hundreds of regulars who come in all the time and have every single time a great experience. So it's like, but you can't almost approach this on a big scale and think, we're just going to approach everyone that way. You really need to have that empathy. Every single customer needs to be looked after. So I think having sort of that while still really being ready to do the less sexy part of the work, which is, washing up, cleaning up, dealing with angry customers, and a lot of other things. It's hard work. It's hard work.
It reminds me of something I heard the other day from the NVIDIA founder, Jensen. He said that he has cleaned more toilets than everybody who was in the audience combined that he was speaking to. And because of that, he was able to, go through the pain and the challenges and all of the difficulties where 99.9% of people would have given up at some point along the way. And now he's running one of the largest tech companies, businesses in general in history.
Yeah, I think in general, it's I think too often, especially nowadays, where there's a lot of things built to make your life very comfortable and easy. We almost try to avoid challenges or pain, like not pain in a bad way. Your life shouldn't be constant pain and sweat and tears. Definitely not. And I think that sort of narrative is also wrong. But I think just being okay that sometimes it's tough and sometimes it isn't. And our life shouldn't be, our goal shouldn't be to avoid this. It's just part of game. It's like, it's sunny today, tomorrow might be hailing again in London. And that shouldn't really impact your happiness in life or your focus or your goals, right? So yeah, I think just understanding it's just part of the journey.
Yeah, focus on what you can control rather than letting the weather dictate your emotion.
Exactly.
It's gonna be bad, it's gonna be good. You can't really have one without the other. You kind of need both, right? That's the beauty of life.
Yeah.
But understanding and recognizing that that's the reality of the situation.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.